Welcome to Brain Break. I'm Lloyd James, and this is where we uncover real stories of people who are changing the game. No surface level stories, just raw, honest conversations about the challenges they have faced and what truly shaped them to be what they are today. Let's get into today's episode. Ivy,
Hi.
thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're more than welcome. Honestly, it's an absolute privilege to have you on. And I've known you now for maybe about, let's say, on and off through socials, through events, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, I'd say 3-4 years probably.
The last time I very much remember very vividly of when we last had a in-depth conversation was at Parker and Stone, second birthday.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that was
Right?
a couple years ago now, wasn't it?
Must have been a couple of years ago. And I
Yeah.
remember that so clearly. And it was a very in-depth conversation that we'll go into a little bit later. But that's kind of like where you really opened my mind and sort of helped me understand who you are a little bit more. But I want to know a bit more in depth. But after that conversation that we had in public at an event, can you tell me what it was like growing up in Perth?
Yeah. So it was interesting. I feel like for me, I'm biracial. So my mum's Scottish, my dad's Ghanaian. Grew up with the Scottish side of my family. So growing up in Perth, I feel like for me, it was a lot of self-discovery. I really thought, like I didn't really know white and black because I grew up with the Scottish side of my family. So I thought I was white almost just for years until I started being around more people with like African culture. And then I was like, oh, okay, no, I am kind of different. And then even at school, like people would always treat me differently and I didn't know why. And I remember having conversations with my mom, like even little things about my hair, like people would make fun of my hair. And I was like, well, why? Like, because this is normal to me. And I feel like growing up, it was kind of like I was too white for the black people and then too black for the white people. So I was just kind of like in a weird space. And it was really, the only other biracial person I knew was my brother. So it was just kind of him and I together all the time. And yeah, that's kind of what it was like.
So that started, but how old do you remember this starting? Was it primary school?
Yeah, definitely. I remember like even pre-primary, like I remember kids would make fun of my hair all the time. Like I remember vividly this one time, I had my hair out and I remember all the kids would just laugh at me and I was so confused as to why they were laughing at me because I was like, well, this is normal. Like, what do you mean? It's my hair. And so it really did start from a young age, especially being in Perth, I think, because Perth is so isolated already. So obviously kids, you know, they follow from their parents. So that's a big thing that I found kind of affected me as a kid, yeah.
Obviously at that age, mental health wasn't spoken about.
Yeah, not at all.
Any of that sort. Is there any particular moments you remember that really affected you?
Moments, I'd say not so much. I feel like it almost became like a normal thing for me. So it was like, I really didn't let it affect me to that point because I was just so used to it, which is kind of crazy to say because I was 7 or 8 used to kind of being made fun of because of how I looked. But I was always taught growing up just to stay strong. Like these people, like they're just jealous, like they're just bullies. So just to kind of like let it go, I guess. So I really didn't let it affect me too much, but I know internally it did, and it did cause a lot of insecurities growing up.
Did you share any of those moments with your parents?
Yeah, I used to talk to my mom about it all the time, and she would just tell me, you know, you're beautiful as you are. Like you're half African. Like it's beautiful to be African, and you need to embrace that. So that was something she always used to instill in me as a kid.
See, like I come from a multicultural background as well, and I been through bullying because we weren't from that particular area in Switzerland. My dad being African, mum being English, and I do remember specific points during school where you just don't fit in. It's kind of like you got the box, but you don't quite fit in that box. You're just outside of it, and it's just kind of like it's challenging because you either try to fit in, and if you try, you're mocked, and if you don't try, then you're just I don't know. I don't want you just a loser.
Yeah.
I guess you just
Yeah.
gone. Oh, he's not interested or whatever. And then it puts you in a weird mental space, right? And it
Definitely.
gives you that kind of thing of like, am I good enough to be part of that circle? Am I not? Where is my journey in this, right? And I guess we're so young at that time. It's hard to comprehend all of that,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely. Yeah.
In regards to your faith, when did that come in? Was that at a young age?
So we grew up, like I was blessed as a baby, grew up kind of knowing about God, but not really, like we didn't really go to church or anything like that. And so it really just came about recently. I'd say when I started traveling, I met a lot more people who were more in touch with their faith and were loud about it. So I feel like that is kind of what really brought me in. I have a friend that lives in Brisbane who I used to stay with whenever I'd be over there. And as soon as you stepped into her house, it was just so light. And like her whole family would always talk about their faith and how they came about finding God. And I feel like that's kind of what really slowly started to bring me into it. And then I feel like everyone has a testimony. So kind of going into that a little bit, I went through some experiences that kind of made me, I'd say, quite anxious, quite depressed. And I remember one night I just kind of was on my bedroom floor and I was just like, my friends were like, just try pray. I was like, what do you mean try pray? What is that? And they're just like, just talk. So I remember one night I was on my bedroom floor crying and I was like, Lord, like if you're there, like please, I need help. And I honestly, from that moment, I felt like it was like I had a warm hug around me. And then the next day I went to work and I work at a basketball facility. And one of the athletes came over to me and he asked if I was okay. And I was like, yeah, fine. Like I didn't really know him like that. And then he just said, can I pray for you? And he said that to me so randomly out of nowhere. And he prayed for me in the middle of like my work facility. And I went home that night and it just really like hit home for me. And I feel like that was probably, say like 10, 11 months ago that happened. And from there, it's really just been me really putting my faith at the forefront every single day and just really running with it because I really did feel like such a shift happened from that moment. So, yeah.
You mentioned you had one or a few of those moments where it was challenging and you were on the floor crying. What was one of those moments?
So I had just been on a trip and found out some really bad news that happened on the trip. And I was still there at the time. I still had 2 weeks left of the trip. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go home. So I kind of continued on the trip. I was like, it's a trip. Let me just make the most of it. And then I got home and it kind of all just hit me, like everything that had happened while I was there. And that's kind of what really made me turn to God and be like, why does this keep happening? Like it's something that I keep allowing to happen. And that's something that I need to figure out internally. And I feel like God really just placed his hand on me and was like, I got you. Like we'll figure this out together and we'll kind of go from there.
Was it like a voice? You said you felt a warm hug. I'm just interested to know, like, for people listening and watching.
No, of course.
Like you know, it sounds like, you know, you obviously, someone said pray, just talk and ask for, you know, a support from something, from a spirit, right? I mean, did you hear that voice? You felt that hug, but like, what else did you feel from that?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different. For me personally, like as I was talking, I still, even to this day, whenever I do sit and talk to the Lord, I literally feel shivers up my entire body. And it's almost like it's only ever when I'm directly speaking to the Lord. And that's crazy to me because it's like, where does that come from? It can't be anything else but that. So it was full body shivers. And I remember it happening and I was just like, wow. Like, and it was almost like I could feel the weight being lifted off of me when that happened. And that was the first time. And I was like, it has, like, how do I explain that? It has to be real. Yeah.
That's incredible. And it's fascinating to hear like your journey of like how you're, you know, you're getting that message, I guess, you know, and you're feeling it. Do you feel that your faith and you believing in God, has that helped you overcome multiple challenges?
Yeah, I was like riddled with anxiety. Depression runs in my family as well. So kind of like mental illness has been a thing that's been known. And I used to have really bad anxiety attacks, like to the point where I was just like bawling my eyes out because I really didn't know what to do. Like the littlest things would cause me to have anxiety attacks, full panic attacks, like full blown everything. And I feel like once I came to the Lord, he really just took that away and was like, no, it's okay. And now whenever I do start to feel anxious or anything now, I just go straight to Jesus, and I'm just like, I just sit in that moment and I just pray and I just talk to him, and it just feels like he's got his hand on me and he's like, it's okay. And that was something that I did do because I got baptized in March 9th, and that was one thing I did have in my testimony, just how much I feel like he helped with my mental health as well.
Do you think you turned towards that faith because potentially you couldn't find that support elsewhere, like at home, from mum, dad, brother, any family relatives? Was there maybe a shift that you think, I can't really rely on them on every time I have a moment? I need to rely on someone else or something else, spirit or God in this instance?
No, I do hear, possibly. I feel like I've always been a very reserved person. I don't really like to go to people when I have issues, which is something I'm still working through to this day. But I've always just kind of been like, I don't really want to be a burden to anyone else, because I know that, especially my family, like they all have their own things that they're going through, especially with like mental health and things like that. So I don't want to I'm always the strong one in the family. So I don't really want to go and put my troubles onto them. So I feel like that definitely did play a big part, just knowing that I could go to someone else that wasn't them and I wasn't having to worry them and stress them out even more. So,
Incredible. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
I really appreciate that. And that's definitely a side that I would never have known. I might have got glimpses through social media, but I wouldn't have known to this depth.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you sharing that. Can you just take us back a moment? Obviously, so you said in primary school, between 7 and 8, you started realizing that you were different to everyone else. Secondary school, what did that look like for you?
Ooh. School was not great for me, honestly. It was not great. I kind of blocked a lot of it out, I would say, as like a trauma response, I would say. But I was bullied bad in high school. Again, I went to a school we had an IEC program, so it was an intensive English program. So those kids, we literally weren't even allowed to integrate. So I'd say in mainstream school, which I was in, there was maybe in the whole school 5, 6 brown kids, and all the other brown kids were in the IEC, and we had different break times. We didn't have the same classes, and we weren't allowed to like integrate with them at all. I'd assume because they thought maybe bullying would happen, not sure. But because of that, I feel like that kind of put an extra target on those of us that were in the main school. So even like teachers would come up to me, walk into classes and be like, are you meant to be here? Like, do you speak English at home? And I was like, yeah, like my family's Scottish, like I speak English. And I remember there would be times where I'd have to actually pull out my timetable and show them that I was going to the right classes, because they just assumed that I wasn't mainstream. Because that's what they called it. But yeah.
That's okay. As you may know or not know, but I'm by trade a secondary school teacher.
Yeah.
And I've taught in the UK. I've taught here in Australia. I've taught in different schools that have different ethnicities and cultures, and that just blows me away. The fact that I wasn't there when that situation you were in, but if that's how you remember school, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Because whether, you felt like you were isolated because you weren't in that same, they wanted to separate you, right? But if that's how you remember it, that shocks me.
Yeah.
Because that thought process and what you went through, do you think that's had a bit of an impact on how you behave today?
I'd say in a way. I feel like it definitely helped me build resilience, and just kind of, I feel like by the time I got to year 11, year 12, I was kind of at the point where I was just like, I don't really like anyone at this school, honestly. And I think it's because everything that would happen, like even in school, I started modeling and people used to bully me because of that. Like I used to straighten my hair every day at school, because if I had my hair natural, I'd get bullied, like things like that. So I feel like it kind of got to the point, I remember having conversations with my mum where I'd just be like, I don't want to be here. Like I almost dropped out and finished year 11 and 12, like doing homeschool. And she was like, no, like just keep pushing through. So it really did help me build resilience and kind of learn that people are going to say what they want to say at the end of the day. Like me and the friends I did have, like they knew the true me. So it was like, just ignore it. Just do what you have to do. Get on with it. And you will never see these people in 2 years when you graduate.
Which is I'm not, which is true. I think a lot of secondary school students that graduate year 12, you have your best friendships in school, and the reality is that how much of those friendships still last after school is very, very slim. And a lot of people forget that, like, people go on their own journeys, and what you thought was a tight group at school, then just suddenly after year 12 it's like boom, it just almost disappears, and people are busy and get partners, or they go to jobs, or they go traveling, or whatever it might be. So I think that a lot of people listening that might be in year 12 that keep hold of those people that mean something to you,
Definitely.
those that have a positive impact. But I think it's kind of important to realize that, like, those people in school at that time are relevant, but I think when you move forwards, it's like they may come back into your life, but at the same time there's such a big world out there.
Exactly.
You mentioned that you started your modeling.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started venturing in that avenue?
I would say 15, I think. 14, 15. Yeah. So it started off, there used to be like a model academy out here, and they just reached out to me and was like, oh, I think you should try it. And I was like, no.
How did they reach out to you?
I think it was through Instagram, and which is crazy because Instagram back then, like, I was like, is this real? Like, what is this?
How many years ago was this now?
How old am I now? It would have been almost 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
And that's rewind 10 years, what Instagram used to look like.
Yeah.
So you would say that even then, social media back then, at the age of 15, for whatever photos you put up there, whether it's a selfie, whether it's you just doing your thing, people picked up a talent there, and they were like, would you come to our modeling agency? How did you feel about that when they reached out?
Well, I remember when I was little, my mom tried to put me into modeling when I was a kid, and it's actually a really funny story. So we went to this thing, and as a kid, I was the most awkward kid, did not like other children. Like, I was like, no, get away from me. And I remember we went to this model day, and the whole time they're like, all right, let's take photos, let's do this. And I was just like, no, like, I refused to do it. I think I was maybe 5, refused to do it. And then growing up, it was kind of like, everyone was like, oh, you should try modeling. And I was like, no, like, I don't want to be a model. That's not for me. And then when this happened, I was like, why don't I just try it? Like, let's see what happens. And I guess from there, it's kind of blown up a little bit.
Yeah, and I love that. And do you remember your first day going to, because you just briefly mentioned, you said, oh, like, maybe this is not for me at 15 when they reached out. Do you remember the first time walking to that studio or to that agency?
I did, yeah. So it was like a model course. So it was like, I think it was a 10-week course. I remember I was so scared when I was walking in there. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? Like, I've never experienced anything like this before. After the first day, I was like, wow, this is actually kind of fun. Like, I kind of like it. Still didn't really take it seriously though. Did the course. I was like, yeah, cool. I got some good photos, met some good people. And then from there, like, photographers would reach out, and I just do shoots here and there for fun. Still didn't really take it seriously. And then I signed with my first agency in Perth, which was an experience to say the least.
Okay. So you've gone from this school that I assume they're trying to give you an eye-opener as to what it could be like modeling.
Yeah, I think it was more so to, like, help build confidence, and because you did, like, hair workshops and, like, makeup and all of that stuff as well.
And I guess that's a good way of being able to express yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
If we want to look at it from that point of view. That's an avenue that perhaps schools don't offer.
Yeah.
And it's a creative avenue.
Yeah.
So definitely. I think that's a really good way of being able to shape someone and to be able to build, like you say, build their confidence in that in front of the camera. And let's be honest, even I to this day, like, me around the camera, I'm like, no, wrong angle. I even said to Riley when editing this podcast, I'd make sure you crop this up because I'm a bit conscious of this and this. But, I think that takes a skill. Can you just tell me, how do you put a mental block? Do you switch character when you're modeling versus Ivy talking right now? Do you have to have, like, a Miss Ivy in your mind and then Ivy at home? Like, how does it work?
I actually always joke about this. Like, I'm 2 completely different people. If you see me at work, you'd be like, who is that? Like, okay. Not in a bad way.
Can you give us an example?
Oh, I feel like...
Could you give us an example now? What does it look like?
Okay, I feel like everyday Ivy is just, like, really chill, laid back, like, cool. Like, that's me. Like, I feel like I'm goofy, I'm funny. People are like, yeah, okay, like, she might actually have something mentally wrong with her. Like, that's just me. I'm just always funny. When I'm on set, I'm so professional. I'm still joking around and still being me a little bit. But at the end of the day, I'm like, this is always a networking opportunity. Like I need to make sure I'm building good rapport with these people so that they want me back. And so they keep, you know, booking me for jobs.
Do you see yourself as a service? As in, like, do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. I see what
Like,
you're
because
going
they're
with
booking you as a product
this. Yeah.
and you're delivering a service.
Yeah. I think it depends on the client. Because I'd say I've actually built a lot of good relationships with like my regular clients that I shoot with, to the point where I would say like they're friends. Like I go in and it's just like I can be myself around them. But there are still some clients that I shoot with and I'm like, yeah, they actually really don't care about me and they just want me for the shot pretty much. So I think it definitely depends on who it is and how regularly I shoot with them. But yeah.
See, I find that really interesting.
Mm.
So some businesses may book you in just for your look.
Oh, 100%. I know a lot of the time I'm just the diversity pick. 100%. It's so obvious when you go to set. Not going to name any names, but it is very obvious that they have picked me just to like tick a box pretty much.
How does that make you feel inside?
As sad as it is to say, I'm used to it. And I'm just kind of like, well, it's work. Like a job is a job at the end of the day. Like if I do my job well and I can show people that, you know, I'm still doing well, and even if I may feel a type of way about it, I'm still going to do the job. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. And yeah.
And that's where the professional ivy kicks in.
Definitely.
You can't think, okay, they booked me in, let's deliver what we need to do our best,
Yeah.
and leave with an impression that's like, okay, even though it might just be, like you say, ticking a box, it's also that, you know, you've held yourself head high, but kind of like, you know, you've delivered to the best of your ability what they wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously the other clients that you work more regularly with, that you built more of a relationship with, you know, for their product or their brand, what does that relationship look like outside of modeling?
Yeah, so I like there's some that I'll literally like have them on Instagram, like we'll chat here and there, like reply to stories, like see how they're going. Like a lot of them still do reach out and like, when are you coming back? Like we miss you, which is really good. And it's just nice to have that relationship. Like even I'll be on set just talking about the most random things with them that I really wouldn't do if it was like a client that I didn't know. But it's because they actually value me as a person and they actually want to get to know me as a person.
That's incredible.
So yeah.
No, that's good. And you just coming back, I guess a step or two, but you said your signing for the first agency was a nightmare. Like,
It was.
Could you just tell us what that experience was like?
Yeah. So
no need to name names,
No, of
but
course,
I'm
yeah.
just kind of, it's more, I'm just interested to see, you know, the ups, the downs that you went through. Well, what did that look like?
It was mainly downs. I'm not gonna
Mainly
lie.
downs, okay.
There really wasn't many ups. I feel like the ups were that they did see potential in me, that I could possibly do something. The downs were everything else. So I remember it was like one of my first shoots. They kind of told me that, before even my shoot, I went into the office and met with them, and they were just saying they don't really know how to market me because I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm just like in this random spot in the middle, and they don't know how to market me. So that was, I remember, probably my first experience with an agency, and I was like, oh, like, do I really want to do this?
Can I use your quote?
Yeah, of course.
Was it the lines along the lines of too black but not black enough?
Yeah, that was another one. So I actually got told that. It was on set with a photographer and my agent at the time, and they were just chatting, and he did mention, he said, black girls don't get work in the industry, but you're a pale black, so it's not as bad for you. I think I was like 17 at the time. And I remember as soon as that happened, I called my mom and I was like, Mom, you won't believe what he just said to my face. And my agent was just there like, oh yeah, you know, that's what it's like. And so after that moment, I was literally just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this is not for me. I wrote in like my resignation letter and I left that agency. And then, moved on to greater things.
I'm just sat here a little bit baffled.
Yeah.
Like, you probably can see my face.
Yeah.
I'm just like going, what like is going on? Like, how
Yeah.
could you? I don't know. Look, I find it interesting but shocking the fact that those kind of comments are made to a 17-year-old, a minor, and what it does to their confidence and potentially their mental state moving forward in life.
Mm-hmm.
It might just have been a sentence by that photographer or that agency or whoever said it to you, but it has to have a deeper effect
100%.
on you later on in life.
Yeah, and that wasn't like they used to comment on. I remember we did like workshops, and they used to comment on people's bodies all the time. Like we were all literally under like 16, 17. I remember they said to me I was shaped like a box and I needed to do something about it. And then they tell another girl she needed to shave centimeters off of her hips, like things like that. And we were kids. We were kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a soon-to-be 7-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd just be mortified, and I just would not take. I mean, for them to say something, to say you're too boxy or to shave off a few inches or whatever, it just wouldn't cross my vocabulary.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is crazy.
That's nuts. And so when those comments are mentioned to you, obviously it sounds like your first protocol will be telling your mum.
Yeah.
How does your mum support you with all this?
Oh, she gets mad. She's like, "Who can I talk to? And I'm like, "Nah, mum, I'll sort it out. Like, it's fine."
Protective.
She's very protective. Yeah, always has been, which is amazing. And I'm glad to have her because anytime something happens, I just go rant to her. But in the moment, literally just in one, like through one ear out the other, because you really can't let that affect you.
But when that's in that moment, but does that moment come back at night?
Yeah, it used to. I was like, oh, maybe like I'm not good enough. Like maybe I do need to fix this, or maybe I need to change this. But I feel like, again, because I kind of grew up already dealing with everything that I dealt with in terms of like what people thought of me, it kind of, again, I was just able to really just brush it off and kind of move on.
Then you signed for Every Agency?
Yeah. So
is that the current agency?
Yeah, that's my current agency.
So can you give us a bit of an insight what that looks like? Because I've got here, just if you know, that's the first step to you going into professional modelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really giving you that support network system.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the positives of that one?
Of course, yeah.
Can we give a bit of a plug? Avery Agency or
everybody, yeah, everybody. Okay. So, yeah, great. So, when my agent first started, this was 2020. She had DM me on Instagram, and at this point, I think she had just started the agency. Like, she'd just come back from America. I think there was probably 20 followers on the page, and I was like,
red flag.
Yeah, I was like, immediate red flag. What do you mean you want to sign me? And then. So I let her know, like, oh, I'm not really sure if I want to get back into it, but let's keep in touch. So we kept in touch for a little bit, saw the agency grow, saw some new people signing and like actually getting work. And then it was a couple months later, would have been December of 2020. We were back in contact, and she was like, yep, want to sign you. So signed then. And then by January 2021, I was already flying over East, booking, like my first ever shoot was with a brand in the Gold Coast called Crop Shop Boutique. And then
hold on, Crop Shop is pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, Crop Shop is
that big now? Like,
Crop Shop is
were they big back then? No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, they were pretty big. Like,
that's massive.
Yeah. And that was my first ever like professional shoot.
So just for viewers and listeners, right, listening to this, when they say they signed you, I'm genuinely interested. So if I'm interested, I'm sure others might be. What does that signing look like? Like, I want to sign you, sign here, and then off we go. Like, what does that look like behind the scenes?
Had meetings with my agent at the time. It was still a very small agency, so at the time it was just her. So I had a meeting with her on the phone, and then she sent over a contract, read through the contract, showed my family, made sure they were like, yeah, what do you think of this contract? It was good, and then basically signed it. And then from there, that's pretty much what getting signed is. You just literally sign a contract.
Okay. So you signing a contract with every agency, what is the advantages of signing with an agency versus you being self-managed? So obviously that contract may have clauses in there that allows you to do certain things you can't do.
Yeah.
Do you feel restricted potentially by these contracts or by that agency?
I personally don't. Some people would. I know a lot of people do prefer freelance life over agency life, but for me, they basically manage everything. So they negotiate rates, they make sure the client's legit and make sure I'm not going to be unsafe in a situation. They really make sure they have your back. So if anything happens on set or whatever, you go straight to them and then they'll solve the issue for you. They also will find work for me. It's good because if work does come for me, that's in Perth, because most of my jobs are over east, which is not a problem, but I guess it's just difficult because I live in Perth. But if jobs do come to me in Perth, I'm able to send it to them and just get their okay to do it, which most of the time they're like, yeah, of course, like go ahead, do it. Which is good that we have that like flexibility, I guess.
So that's any jobs that come through in Perth.
Yeah.
That's self-managed by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. So you got
good.
so you got that flexibility of anything called back at home.
Yeah.
This way, they're not going to necessarily get involved too much.
Yeah, exactly. Because rates in the West are a lot different to rates over east. A lot different. Like,
really?
Not even.
Can you share? What do you mean different? Like substantially different?
Substantially different. Like,
how much?
If I was actually, okay, no,
I'm just asking,
like
because I'm just curious and nosy, kind of like, okay, well, people say these things, how much? But I'm like, well, you don't have to reveal exactly your figure, but if you could just give us viewers and listeners, myself, an idea of what we're talking about, because anyone that might be thinking of joining or every whatever, what does that look like?
Yeah, so agency rates over east, obviously depends how experienced you are. I'll give a rough bracket.
Yep.
My rates anywhere from, I'd say, 200 to 400 an hour.
Okay.
Over here, you're not really going to find a client that's going to pay that. So here, a rate would be 50 to, if I'm lucky, I can get 250
an hour.
But
and is there a minimum amount of? Does that include like your hair and makeup, or what does that package look like?
So over east, everything is included. Obviously, the agency negotiates the rates, so it's usually you have like a half day rate, a full day rate. If it's less than 5 hours, then you do an hourly rate, but it has to be a minimum of 2 hours. Where over here, that doesn't exist. Obviously, I understand Perth is smaller, so you can't expect the same rates. Obviously, it's not done through an agency, so that's going to have a lot of differences. But yeah, a lot of the time work here, my agency would just be like, it's not worth it, because agency do take a percentage, so they take 20%. So it's just not worth it for them to take that percentage from jobs in Perth, because it's really not even a lot to begin with. Obviously, it's still a lot compared to an average job, but in terms of what I'm used to,
You see, so I mean, you know that I've taken photos for brands. I've had to organise models before. One of the experiences that I very, very much remember as clear as day is that one of the clients reached out and said they're a swimwear brand, still active today actually, and they were like, okay, we are looking for XYZ kind of model, right? And I was like, okay, I've got a portfolio of people that I've been in contact model-wise, and I was like, okay, do they fit the bill, etc. And then the client turned around and said to me, look, we're really looking for sort of that quote-unquote supermodel look, right? Whatever that means. I presume, from my understanding back then, we're rewinding probably about 3.5 years ago, where my understanding of supermodel was someone that can turn up, get the job done, go home.
Right.
Now, the experience personally back then, just the photographer trying to put this whole thing together, there was so much paperwork to fill out to that agency. Now, I don't know whether every agency is the same, but I thought this is a nightmare because it was the whole thing of, okay, you are using our people to use for that particular brand or product to be used. But then it was the whole thing, you can't use the photos for 3 months, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I was like, no, I get it. They're protecting the model, they're protecting their agency, they're protecting the rights of the photo. I totally understand all of that. But it seems like a lot of legwork.
Yeah.
Do you think that for smaller brands and businesses, that's a put off?
Definitely. I have a lot of friends that own smaller brands, and they don't like going through agencies because of all of that. And because obviously they're a startup brand, they're a smaller brand, they don't have the same amount of funds that things like Universal Store or like City Beach, things like that would have, right? So agencies don't really look at that, and they're like, no, this is the level of our talent, this is how much our talent is. And there's not really much negotiation there.
I'm looking at current brands that are very much doing a whole model search. For example, Fate the label from Saunders. What's her name? Do you know the name? I don't want to say. Sorry, it will come to me.
Is it Brittany?
Brittany Saunders.
Brittany Saunders, yeah.
Brittany Saunders.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Brittany Saunders. Subtly a big fan of herself, the way she markets herself.
Yeah, definitely.
Incredible.
So good.
Love it.
So good.
But if you look at Fate the label, the way she's going about the whole model search, you know, trying to find the models for her brand, for her business. And then I realized, or looking at Stacks are doing the same now.
Yeah.
So they're doing their internal casting for, I guess, normal people, normal looking models, you know, all shapes and sizes, all sorts of skin color and everything else. Do you think brands doing that is potentially putting you out of a job?
Yes and no. Oh, that's a tough question. I'd say that's honestly hard to answer.
That's okay. Well, I'm just curious. I'm just curious
I would
because
say yes and
because
no.
if brands are doing that, to me, what I'm seeing from the outside is that if any brand is going through or goes through the same experience as I did with a modeling agency, and I'm saying there's nothing wrong with modeling agency, and I think there's definitely, I would say, modeling agencies are for a certain type of clientele, right? But if you look at Stacks, you look at Fate, they are multi-million-dollar businesses.
Yeah.
They're not exactly startups. If they're going down that route of searching for their own models, and let's be honest, their branding and their marketing is very strong.
Yeah.
They've got very good communities. Do you think that brands doing that bridges the gap for diversity?
Yeah, I think it does. I think diversity in Australia is lacking a lot. So I'm all for brands doing that, honestly. I think with my agency, it's good because we are a diverse agency. We have models of all different shapes, sizes, abilities as well, which is really, really big. So I honestly don't blame brands for doing that because a lot of agencies just have the same like copy and paste model and there's really no diversity in that at all. So I definitely agree with, I think it's good that they're doing that. Bad for me, possibly, because if they're not going to agencies, it's like, oh, well, I might not be getting as much work. But at the end of the day,
I mean, like I say, I can't pass comment on every those, but I'm sure potentially they've gone through agencies and everything else. But in today's social climate where everything is on socials and we're hanging out in different social platforms and everything else, I think it's a positive them doing that. It opens the door to anyone being able to give it a go, I guess.
Yeah.
And if you look back, you know, you could say that the inspiration perhaps potentially came from like Skims. Because I think Skims did something like that. The Kardashians did something, that similar thing. Let's find normal looking people. I say look, just normal people that perhaps haven't had that agency training.
Yeah.
But I do also think that potentially comes with its flaws.
Yeah.
Because I have worked with models, male and female, with zero experience in front of the camera. And if it wasn't for me understanding very quickly on the shoot set what kind of person they are, making them feel comfortable, I think that potentially you might be shooting yourself in the foot in regards to how they hold themselves in front of the camera, right? Because it might take twice as long to do something.
Yeah, definitely.
So I know I distinctly remember that supermodel shoot. That I'll never forget it. That like it was that whole. There's a time in my head going 1, 2, 3, click, and then they had the 3, 4 poses ready in their mind of going, okay, I'm going to pose 1, 2, 3, get the 10 different poses, different shots, whatever, and that was done. Next outfit change, and I guess that's what you're paying for as as a business.
Definitely, yeah, you're paying for professionalism. You know, we're signed to agencies. We know exactly what to do when we're on set. We know how to act. We know how to pose. Like these things just come as like with being an agency model. So I think that is definitely the difference and what you are paying for.
And do you think that do you change your character based on the product?
Yeah. So,
okay.
I mean, if it's e-com, it's pretty much the same. So e-com is e-commerce for anyone that doesn't know. But
and that's sort of the way I was just call it plain background for the website.
Plain background, front, back, side, pretty much. So that it's pretty standard with with anything. But if you're doing campaigns, social content, you do really have to change what you're doing based on what the product is. So you can't do the same for like a streetwear shoot as you would for a beauty shoot or like a activewear shoot. It's very different.
See, I used to say to the model in front of me is, we know you look great. You as an individual, you look great. You look fantastic.
Yeah.
You've done your push-ups before the photo shoot, whatever it might have been, right?
Yeah.
But I used to always say to them, at the moment, you've got to make that product look good. Like that, you got to make that product look good. How's that product going to stand out?
Yeah.
How are you and that product going to connect for that viewer, that person that's potentially going to buy it and think, I can see myself using that and I need it. And I think that takes a skill.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Even like I'll be on set sometimes and I'm like, oh, I need inspo. Like, and I'll be like, do you have a brief or whatever? Because it's still, although I've been doing it for years, it's still like if you haven't done it for a while, you're a little bit rusty, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of get back into it. So it's good because a lot of the times on set, they'll have briefs of like what types of poses they want and like ideas, and you just kind of go off of that.
Yeah.
Which is good. But yeah, it's definitely a skill to be able to have different poses and to be able to work differently based on whatever product it is.
Sydney Fashion Week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty big deal.
It is pretty big.
So just okay, excuse my naivety here.
No, you're good.
Sydney Fashion Week, is that equivalent to Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, just here in Australia?
Kind of, yeah, I'd say so.
So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
See what I mean? It's pretty big.
It's pretty big. I brush off a lot of accomplishments as like, yeah, it's whatever.
So how did that come about?
So when did I do Fashion Week? I think I did it in 2022. I think I've only done it once. That was enough of an experience for me personally.
Well, what does the experience look like for anyone that might think that's their dream, that's their goal?
It's cool. Like it's definitely fun. I'm so glad I did it. But for me, it's more of, you do it more for experience than anything else because you're there. So you have to be in Sydney for, I think it's like a month. So you're there for castings, right? So you'll go usually 2-3 weeks before Fashion Week starts for castings. And then.
So hold on a sec. You're with your agency.
Yeah.
You have to go there, let's say a month before.
Yeah.
And castings to what? To
brands? To do the shows. So for Fashion Week, there's a bunch of different shows. I don't know how many there are. I think there's a lot because it's over, I think 4 or 5 days. So usually they do a bunch of different shows in the days, but each show, so you have to go to basically cast with all the designers that have shows at Fashion Week, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then they pick you.
Yeah, if they like you, they'll pick you. So, but it's like when I was there, I was getting called, like I'd be at one casting, my agent would call me and be like, yep, you have another casting that's 20 minutes away. You have to be there in like 10 minutes. So you're having to like get Ubers, like run. Like it was literally like pouring down with rain in Sydney. That was like really the first time I've ever been in Sydney. Like obviously my dad lives there, but that was the first time I'd been in Sydney kind of by myself doing things. And it was good because some of the other girls were there, but it was just a lot. Like I think like sometimes you do like 10 castings in one day and it's just running to a different location, walking in front of people. You're literally in there for 2 minutes and they're like, yep, all right, cool.
And they're all different types of fashion brands. It could be urban, could be, I don't know, soiree dress or something like that or whatever.
All different types. So you just go
in. And you have to switch your mind. Okay, now this is urban, I've got to act a bit more urban, or this is more higher end cocktail attire. I have to.
But it's like they really don't give you anything. Like they call your name, you walk in front of them, walk up and down, that's it. Like that's it. And then you don't find out until like your agency, if they contact your agency, if they like you. So you give them a headshot, your comp card, walk, that's it.
And so do you get paid when you get picked?
Oh, if you book the job, you get paid. So
if they like you, you get paid for that?
Yeah, if you book the runway, you get paid. It's not great pay. That's why they say everyone that does runway is more for the experience.
Okay.
But you're there for a very long time. Like if you do get picked for the job, it's obviously you're there for like hair, makeup. You're probably there for like 8 hours in the day.
Behind the scenes?
Yeah.
And how long does a walk last up and down?
Like 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a lot of work for a very small amount of time.
Tell me a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi Campbell.
Yep.
So obviously supermodel.
Yeah.
We know, I know of Naomi Campbell because of the catwalks, like done TV shows and everything else. But prior to the TV shows and Naomi Campbell going up and down the catwalk, is it like you're saying it was difficult, as in like a lot of hours, a lot of running around?
Yeah.
For people to be recognised on the catwalk regularly, is that what they have to do?
Yeah.
Go to all these
definitely.
constantly and kind of go getting picked.
You have to. Your face has to be everywhere. So I don't even know how many castings I did. I don't know. At the time, that was like the first year my agency had sent people for castings, and Sydney Fashion Week. I know that the year we did it, it got a lot of backlash because it wasn't very diverse, and it was supposed to be the most diverse show. And I remember that year it did get a lot of backlash. A few of us did get picked. I think I did 2 shows. But yeah, it's a lot of behind the scenes work for a very small amount of time that you're on the runway.
Did you think when you got picked and you're walking down that runway and you're potentially looking around, or was in the zone, I guess, did you ever think like this could be the making of you going bigger and international? You think I've made it? Or what goes through your, some people kind of go, oh, I want to go and, I don't know, go and compete at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? We had an Olympian here last week.
Yeah.
We had an interview with.
Yeah.
Or a chat on the podcast. And, for them, it's the driver. It's kind of like their goal is to get to the Olympics. What is your goal?
My goal in modeling is to be overseas. I want to be in the US. I'm saying I want to because I'm manifesting that.
Okay.
I do. I want to be in the US doing commercial stuff. I don't really want to do runway. That's not really for me. I feel like runway is very niche. I feel like I'm more of a commercial model, which is campaigns, beauty, things like that. I feel like that's where I fit in. I'm always doing all the smiley like cute shoots. So I feel like that's my strong point. So I do want to really delve into that. In terms of outside of modeling, I want to do like sports broadcasting. So it's very different. So
very diverse.
Yeah, that's sports broadcasting is like my end goal. And modeling, I'm doing it now because I can and because I feel like it's a good way to show. I feel like we'll talk about Jesus real quick, but
Please
do.
Bring him into the conversation.
I will. I feel like he's kind of using me right now to like spread the word, and a lot of people do look up to me for modeling, and I feel like that's something that I want to keep doing, and I feel like God's kind of telling me to, like, I need to do this in order to get to where I want to be. If that makes sense in a way. So
totally makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep doing it until I feel like I reach the point where he's like, yeah, okay, now you can move on and do something else.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that. The fact that you're actually listening. Some people will say you listen, when you say, oh, listen to your body when it's enough is enough kind of thing. So it's almost like you got that second person, that second spirit, that thing behind you.
Yep.
God, Jesus.
Yeah.
Telling you, continue doing it.
Yeah, and I feel
they've
like
got your back.
Yeah, literally. And I feel like since my baptism, like I feel like a lot of opportunities have come up in the sense of like media and me kind of being out there and doing more things that I wouldn't think I would have done in the first place. And I feel like that's really him saying, yep, like you're on the right journey, you're doing the right things in order to spread the message and spread the gospel and just keep doing it.
Just to touch on it, being very into your faith, that's not something you grew up with.
No.
But how does your family at the moment take that?
Yeah, so it's a good question. They did come to my baptism. They're not very, like, they're not religious people.
Sorry, is that you just chose to do? Is there a process?
A baptism? So basically, once you decide that you want to, like, follow Jesus Christ and give your life to the Lord, you then will get baptized. And it's basically, he's washing you clean, and it's kind of like you're starting a new life with God at the center. So that's what a baptism is pretty much. My family did come to that, which was really good. My mum's very open to it. She's like, yep, I love that it's making you happy. Like, it's so good. I'm trying to get her to do it next, but we'll see. Grandparents, like, they grew up Christian. They went to Bible school, all of that. But it's kind of, at this point, they're just kind of like, nah, it is what it is. My brother, he's like, nah, don't believe in it. It's weird.
But it hasn't broken down any relationships.
No, definitely not.
So they're letting you do your thing, and it's supportive in a way, but they're not necessarily going to follow your journey. So your journey, but your relationship with your family and everything else is still okay. Perfect.
It's still great. Yeah, it's still great.
Great.
Yeah,
that's good because sometimes these sort of things do create a bit of a divide in the family.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to have a family that are very supportive of whatever I decide to do, which is good.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So Sydney Fashion Week, relatively difficult. Realise that perhaps that's not an avenue that you want to go down.
Yeah.
And so, sports broadcast, I guess my sort of next natural way of continuing this conversation, NBL 1?
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. So you've gone from modelling
to
wanting to do broadcasting.
Yeah.
And next thing I see on social media is now Ivy's taking photos of basketball players.
Yeah.
How? What? This is incredible. I was so pumped when I started seeing your content come through. I was like, to be honest, I never saw that coming. And your photos are incredible.
Thank you.
They're so good, so in action. Like I look and whenever the algorithm pushes it to me.
Yeah.
But how did you get into that?
So I did photography in school. So year 11 and 12, I did a Cert 3. It was kind of like there wasn't really a lot of options of what I could do. And I was like, yeah, this actually might be fun. So I did that in school, didn't really think about it after school, did the course, got the qualification, moved on. And then I started being around more people that played basketball. My best friend, Michaela, she's in the States now, but she was here for 5 years playing basketball. And I was just kind of around basketball players all the time. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should kind of get back into photography. And so I was like, well, I'm always around people that play basketball. I'm always at these games. Why not just get a camera? I think at that point I was kind of bored. I was like, I need something to do. I need a hobby. Because I felt like a lot of the things I was doing as hobbies were turning into work, such as like modeling and social media that started becoming work. And I was like, I need something fun to do. Little did I know that would turn into work as well. But so I bought a camera, bought the full gear. I went out, didn't really know anything about cameras. I went out and got a Canon R7.
I was going to say, do you remember your first camera?
Yeah, Canon R7, 70 to 200 millimeter lens. Big. I did not know how to use it.
I was going to say, did you know any about these numbers?
Absolutely
I'm
not.
just saying, like 70 to 200 people are like, what is that?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was either. I just went in and I said, what's a good camera and a lens that I need to take photos of basketball? And then he told me what I needed and I said, bet, cool. So
and you just off you go buying it.
Went off and bought it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then from there, I started doing it and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. My photos were so bad. I literally look back, even photos I took last year, I was like, what was I doing? Like, ew. And then it just kind of grew and grew. I kept doing it. And then I started shooting. I remember the first game I shot, I think I was dating someone at the time that played for a team. So I went and like was shooting his games and then I went to go shoot Michaela's games. And then they were kind of like, oh, these photos are actually kind of good. Like maybe you should.
Who was saying this?
Michaela and like her team.
Yes.
Yeah. They're like, these photos are kind of good. Maybe you should get into it a bit more. So I was like, oh yeah, maybe we'll see. And then I just kind of kept doing it throughout the season. And then clubs started following me, like athletes started following me.
That was just purely out of love.
Yeah. And from there, I just made a media page called Ivy Media because I was like, need a name, didn't know what to do. Was like, do I actually make a name or do I just call it anything? So I just went with Ivy Media. And then from there, like that's kind of grown. Like clubs were starting to repost my photos. And then I got to the point after a season, I was like, I'm kind of done with this. Like I felt like it was so random. I just was just like, yeah, done with photography. Like it's kind of whatever, right? And the season's only 6 months. So I was like, season's done, whatever. I sold my camera, sold the lens. And then I don't know why I did that. I told you I got bored. So I like to just like do a lot of different things. And then one day I was just sitting there and I was like, damn, I kind of miss taking photos. So then this was before this season. Yeah, before this season started, I went out and got another camera. So I got an R10 this time. And then I got a 70 to 200 millimeter lens. And I started working at Buckets as well, which is a basketball facility. And I started doing photos there, but he had a camera at the time. So he went out and got a camera and everything. So I was like, I don't really need my own camera. But it was a terrible camera. So I was like, yep, need to get a camera. So went out, got that, got the new 70 to 200 millimeter lens, like the RF lens that works insanely well.
When you do pair up the right body with the right lens that are native to each other, it just works wonders, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
I think I bumped into you into the camera shop then, and I was like, what are you doing? And
I was like, buying a lens.
Yeah, I was like, oh, RF. I went, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Did I not just say, I said, oh, that's going to be a game changer. Did I not say that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a game changer. I mean, look, you're having a good experience with it.
It's great, yeah. And I did that. I went out and bought that because I did sign with a club. So I signed with Kalamunda Suns. So I take all of their home photos for all of their games.
So what does that? What does that? So you are only to take photos of that team.
Not only them, but I just have to be at their home games.
Okay.
So they'll have home and away games. So any home games they have, I have to be there taking photos, men's and women's.
Are you the only one taking photos?
Other photographers can come, but so we have a system with NBL One where we have to like upload a certain amount of photos by a certain time so that the teams can use them for graphics to do quarter time stats, half time stats, all of that. So if you are with a club, you have to have a certain amount of photos uploaded at a certain time.
There and then.
Yeah, there and then.
So you got your laptop there.
Yeah, laptop's there.
So you're kind of
plugged in.
like, okay, can you just tell us, and there's a little bit of my own curiosity here. I've done sports photography before, but the bit that I've never done is the immediate upload situation. So, you know, like people want their photos slightly edited, you know, whatever it might be, cropped, you know, touched up. That's the process I'm used to.
Yeah.
But so you've got to shoot pretty much perfect photos in camera.
Yeah, I mean, I'll like quickly upload like a couple of good ones.
But you're holding the trigger, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of. I've kind of learnt to, because obviously it's a very fast camera. Shutter speed is insane. So I've kind of learnt to, like, it's hard to explain, but I feel like if you know basketball, you know when something good is going to happen.
You're reading the game.
Yeah, you literally just have to read the game and you're like, all right, yeah, this person's about to dunk or this person's about to, I don't know, do something cool, right? So you just have to kind of know when to press the trigger. And I try and not take too many photos because it's very easy to take a lot of photos. Like I remember when I first started, I think I take like 800 photos a game. And now I've knocked, see, exactly. Because I was just like, oh, let me just press the trigger and see how many photos I can take.
My first boxing match that I took photos for, Perth Corporate Rumble.
Oh, okay.
I think I hit like 5,000 or 6,000 photos.
It's ridiculous.
And I was taking 1,000 photos an hour.
Yeah.
I think, and I was just, the culling afterwards, just, my eyes were bleeding. Like I was just going, oh my God. But you're just so paranoid and making sure you capture the shot at the right time because it's just kind of like that moment, right?
Exactly.
You're chasing that perfect, I mean, in my instance, that knockout or that punch that hits someone in the face. But in your instance, you're waiting for that, either that celebration, that ball going into the net as a sweep, whatever.
Yeah.
But you got to learn how to read the game.
Yeah, you have to learn how to read the game. One thing I really like to do as well is take kind of shots where it's just like a really quiet moment. I like to get close up photos of like facial expressions and things like that. I just feel like it's different and not a lot of people do that. A lot of people always just take action shots. And I'm
do you feel it tells a different story?
Yeah, I just like the in-betweens, like the curious looks on people's faces or like someone's arguing with a ref. I think that's so funny and just like capturing their face in that moment.
And so you take the photos off your SD card?
Yeah, it depends where I'm at. So if I'm shooting for Suns, I'll take them off my SD card, put them on my laptop, just pick a couple, do a really quick edit. If I'm at like at a different game, which not the Suns, like a different club, and I just want to upload, I'll just upload them onto my phone because my camera connects to my phone. And then I just do a really quick edit on my phone and then upload it onto Iconics. So it's super quick.
Are they RAWs or are they JPEGs you're
RAWs.
shooting? Hold on a second. Producer Riley, does my camera connect to my phone? Can we do some research? Because apparently the camera can connect to my phone and I can download the photos straight to my phone.
What do you have?
A Canon R3. Surely it does that.
Yeah, it does. It will. You just download
Riley, we are not up to date. Can we do some research, please? Like, because
a-
I need, after this podcast, I need to have a look if I can can the process be a bit quicker? Okay, all right. We'll have a look.
It's a Canon Connect app, and you just connect your phone to that, and then you just pick the photos.
I think now I know what you now.
Yeah.
I think that rings a bell now. The Connect, maybe I haven't utilized that enough.
Yeah.
So that's how the way you do it. You download it straight to your phone. You find the one that you want.
Yeah. So usually I try and upload at least like 5 photos of each team per quarter, so they have a lot to pick from. And then obviously in it, you have to like go in and like name the subject. So who the player is, what team they play for. You have to put your tag in because NBL One will sometimes repost during the games as well. So it's really just, it's a lot, but once you know how to do it, it's pretty easy. So I do it really quickly now. Like it's at the point where I'm like, yep, cool. Like
I love that.
I'm literally shooting as I'm like uploading.
Wow.
Yeah.
That I want to learn. I honestly, I'd be so intrigued to like just maybe shadow you like for literally a game and just be like, just see that process.
Yeah.
And just to add that to to the bank of like, skills.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because it's so interesting to, I do believe that it's a different skills, not taking the photo, but the skill set of the production back end.
Yeah.
Because I see this, I forget his name now. It will come to me. I'll put it in the show notes. But I often see him at Optus. Travis, I think his name is, Optus, and he's shooting, and I'll follow him, and he's just kind of, he's got his laptop out, put the photos in. I'm going, okay, well, that just sounds like a ball ache. Like it's, and then do you not like kind of think, oh, is that the best photo? Like, do you kind of go, oh, is that a good one? Is that not a good one? And,
yeah.
There's a lot of indecisiveness potential, but you got to be confident.
Yeah,
that's
you have
the photo.
to be confident. And I think one thing that I've done now is before I used to just shoot the whole game, right? Now I'll literally shoot. I mean, each quarter's 10 minutes, give or take, depending on if there's timeouts, things like that, right? So I'll usually shoot for like 5 minutes first quarter, and then as I shoot, I delete. So because when you're shooting basketball, right, when they're at the other end of the court, you're gonna shoot the backs, like no. So I really only shoot when they're if I'm like on court, like if I'm on the baseline, I'm only shooting when they're coming towards me.
That makes sense,
right? So you do have time to kind of like go through the photos and delete the ones that you don't like as they're on defense.
Do you have like a playlist in you? Do you have headphones on?
All the time.
Are you like,
Yeah.
okay, I've got to be in the zone now?
Oh, yeah, because the music they have at games is terrible. So I've got...
I've been to a Wildcats game. Look, I think just as a consumer, as a person that went there, as a fan, I guess, and just watching the end, it's so noisy. Like, I couldn't cope with the noise. I was like, oh my God, if I got a bit of autism inside of me.
Oh, same,
right?
same.
And I'm going... I mean, look, they're doing their job and they're trying to keep the crowd entertained, but I was like, this is just a bit too much.
Yeah.
Can we just have it when they potentially close at half time? But there's every time. Come on. And I was like, wow, this is exhausting.
Yeah. And then
is
they
it
have
like that? Is that just an Australia thing? Or is this like this in America?
No, it's everywhere. Yeah. I've been to NBA games as well. But the NBA games, they actually have good music. That's the difference. So it's kind of like, oh, you're sitting there and you're kind of like dancing along to it. Here, I don't know, they be playing things from like 2008 here. And I'm like,
okay,
can we?
So you're big time judging like
yeah,
the
I'm like,
DJ.
Can we
spice things up?
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
okay. So your AirPods in,
I have
you're
to.
focused.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
okay.
I don't, like, and also like people will be like, Ivy, hey, what's up? And I'm like, I can't talk to you right now. Like, I have so many things that I need to do. So it's like headphones are in. I don't even look at anyone. I'm like, yeah, I need to shoot here. Like, I want to be on baseline. I want to be on sideline. Like, I know exactly where I want to be. I'll shoot for 5 minutes, go through, delete photos, upload them, and then just kind of move around the court.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So you've gone from photos
Yeah.
that you like sold, bought the camera again, realized that the RF lenses linking it to the native body, like you think, oh, this is all sweet.
Yeah.
But hold on a second. Like we go from that to like, am I sitting in front of Miss Universe, Miss Australia, whatever that, can we explain that journey?
Yeah.
Or did you just get bored of basketball now and you're going to decide to go and...
Absolutely not. I don't think I'll ever get bored of basketball.
Okay.
Love watching it, love shooting it, love being around it. But yeah, Miss Universe, they have honestly been asking me to do it for like 5 years now. And I was like, no, I don't want to do a pageant. What do you mean a pageant? No, couldn't be me. And then I was sitting there and I was like, so I started the year off in the States, right? And I was like, well, this is already new for me. So I feel like this is the year of just doing new things. And obviously I'm on my walk with the Lord now. And I'm just like, I feel like this would be such a good way to be true to myself and also spread the gospel and also spread that brown girls can be beautiful. Like, we are beautiful in our own right. And why can I not be Miss Universe Australia? Why could that not be me? Right? Because a lot of the time in the industry, it's kind of like, nah, like you're not good enough because of this. So I want to prove like, no, we can do it. And that's one thing I did. So all the Miss Universe events that we did, I made it a note to have a different hairstyle each event that we went to. And that kind of shows that, because even with hair, right? So we're told cornrows are unprofessional, braid, like your afro is unprofessional, all these things. So I went with a different hairstyle every time to show that, no, we really are beautiful in our own right.
So just rewind a second. Sorry. Can you just, say that again about your hair? You're saying that certain hairstyles is unprofessional?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I've got nothing against mullets, right, or anything of that sort. I've got nothing against it, but I can. That's how I'm relating it to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going, hey, look, you got to go with the mullet, but can you really judge someone because of the hair shape? Like, it takes a quick buzz and it's off. That's my interpretation of that. But you've just mentioned and saying different styles of your hair because of your background.
Yeah.
That's unprofessional.
Yeah. So a lot of times, if you have your afro out, right, it's deemed as unprofessional or it's not tidy, it's not neat. Cornrows are often related to, like, you're a gangbanger if you've got cornrows, or like, you know, you're like gangster, as they say, if you've got cornrows, things like that. So I really wanted to show that. I think one event I had my hair how it is now. So I had like a ponytail extension piece in. Another event I had my afro out. Another event I had style of cornrows. I had actually cornrows for the state finals. And cornrows are a big thing in African culture as well, because not sure if you know, but they used to, like, back when slavery was a thing, they would actually cornrow. They'd almost use it as like a map to kind of get out. So
Okay.
each design would be like a specific thing. So
Did not know that.
yeah.
How
So that's-
interesting.
Yeah. So that's like something that's really cool. And I wanted to show that it's a protective style. It's a traditional style. It's part of our culture. And I really want to embrace culture in Miss Universe.
And how's that been received so far?
Great so far. Great so far. I even have like people from Ghana that have found me
Free socials.
through socials, and they're like, yep, like Ghana's supporting you, like we're behind you. Like I have a lot of people, even on TikTok, like I've posted things on TikTok and I've had like a bunch of just random people like, oh my God, we're so proud of you. Like, thank you for doing this, like for the African community. And
You
like,
just giving me
thank
goosebumps.
you. Bless.
You just give me goosebumps. That's incredible.
Yeah. And like another thing, like I always, like at the events, I have like an African chain with like it's like a pendant of Africa on it. So I wear that. And like I always wear my waist beads, which are like cultural as well. And it has a really big cultural like importance and there's like big significance. So that's something that I'll always have during Miss Universe, just to like put in the little touches of Africa in there as well.
How does the other participants take that?
I mean, no one said anything bad. Like everyone's so lovely. Like everyone's so sweet. Now we're in national finals. So there's 30 of us in total. There's 3 of us that are, that have like black in us. There's 3 Africans. I think like me and another girl are biracial. And then there's one full African as well. So yeah, but everyone's been very like welcoming. So that's good.
The whole experience going through that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any concerns of how that may put you on social media? Like in regards to you're going through that experience, you're having a good time, but do you feel that? Sorry, I'm going to rephrase that, but like, what I'm trying to get at is coming back to when you were at school, all those moments that people putting you down, those moments that's probably still potentially there at the back of your mind. Does that kind of like put a big middle finger to those kind of people and kind of think, look where I'm at and look where my skin color, me as a person, the hair that you took the mick out of me when I was in primary school, hello, what do you got to say now?
Yeah, and it's actually crazy you say that because I've had so many people from like high school, primary school message me like, so proud of you. And I'm like, you were part of the reason that like I didn't like myself. Do you know what I mean? So I think, it's definitely like it adds fuel to the fire. I'm like, yeah, like I'm doing all this now and you were once upon a time laughing at me, making fun of me. And now I feel like I've just kind of used that and really said, nah, I'm going to do it. Cause I've always been the type of person that's like, if you can't do something, say like someone tells me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it.
Adds fuel to a fire.
Yeah, of course.
I love that. That's so good. That's so good. So Miss Universe.
Yep.
Well, sorry, you're in a state. No,
Miss Universe Australia.
Miss Universe Australia. So if you get picked, like you're 30 of you at the moment, Australia wide.
Yep.
So only one of you can go through.
Yep. So we had state finals, which is each state. So I think there was 35 girls in WA. They picked 7.
So you're one of the 7.
One of the 7. Yeah.
And then they pick every state another 7. Or give or take.
Not 7. Yeah, give or take. I think Adelaide had 2. I think Melbourne had like 5. I'm not exactly sure on the numbers, but give or take. So there's 30 of us in total. So we go to Vietnam on the a week and a half. Go to Vietnam for a week, do a bunch of workshops, photo shoots, charity events out there, and then we'll come back, chill for a little bit. We get a little bit of a break, and then finals are the week August 8th to August 15th, I believe.
So before we came onto the podcast, we were briefly talking about how do they judge you?
Yeah.
Right, because from a perspective, from a person that's consuming the content on socials, people will see beautiful women dressing up beautifully, looking $1 million. You see the final product, which is on socials. Can you just give us a snippet of what it looks like behind the scenes in regards to what are they judging you on? What is the whole idea? Like, are they giving you points? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So for, obviously I can only talk about state finals because that's all we've done so far. But in the lead up, we had a bunch of events with like sponsors, partners, things like that. So I feel like it's basically how you hold yourself in a room full of people, right? That's a big thing because they want to make sure that if you do go on to represent Australia, you can sit in a room with whoever and have conversation, and you know what you're talking about, and you're confident in the way that you speak, you're confident in the way that you move, you're confident in the way that you dress. So that was a big thing. And then also on the day of state finals, we did like a swim walk in groups, and then we did interviews with the people that own it. So the Barbagellos, they own Miss Universe Australia. So it was with them and then with some partners. So we basically just walked into a room. There was, I think, 8 of them at a table. It was kind of intimidating, I can't lie, when you walk in and you basically sit down in a chair, and then they're like, "Okay, tell me a bit about you." So you just have
and
to
you
kind
just
of talk.
literally just have a little chat.
You just have to talk, yeah, and then it would kind of go on to, like, everyone got asked different things. They just kind of asked me what I did for work, spoke about that, spoke about basketball for a little bit, why I chose to do Miss Universe, things like that.
Do you think they're looking for anything in particular?
I guess just, I would say star quality, I guess.
Okay.
Because, I mean, yeah, it's hard to know. Obviously, it's hard to know. But
So they don't
just
give you a criteria?
Oh, no.
So you're really kind of hoping that you're delivering what they want to hear.
Yeah. Like, even
interesting.
like the day of state finals, like, no one knew what was happening. We were like, we have no idea who's going to get in. Like, because it's really, you can go in and nail everything, but, you know, it's not up to you. It's not up to, like, you really just don't know.
Does that give you anxiety?
Oh, yeah, I was so stressed. State finals, I was sitting there, like, my best friend Meg was there, and we were just, like, there praying, and we're like, please, Lord, like, if this is, because, like I said, I feel like I did Miss Universe as a way to, like, spread the gospel, and we were just like, if this is what you want me to do, if this is how you want me to, like, kind of spread the word, like, let me get through, let me get through, pretty much.
That's incredible.
And then, yeah.
You seem really humble.
Thank you.
Do you realize that's quite a big deal?
I do and I don't. Like, I kind of mentioned before, I feel like a lot of things and accomplishments I've done, I just kind of am like, oh, yeah, cool. Like, I did that. I've always been like that. Like, I feel like I don't give myself enough credit for things that I do. So I always, like, even when people compliment me or say things, I get uncomfortable because I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's not even a big deal. But I need to always remember myself, like, no, this is a big deal. And, you know, people see that and people probably wish they could do half the things you do. And I just kind of brush things off.
And if we rewind back to that 2-year anniversary for Park and Stone, and we were briefly having a chat under the music and alcohol that was being served or whatever, right? You think back at that time, that conversation to where you are now.
Yeah, I feel like a lot has changed. A lot.
Think about how many accomplishments you've done.
Yeah.
You've achieved in that time.
Yeah.
So what do you think you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh, that's a question that I always think about, and I'm like, I honestly don't know. I hope that I'm still, like, walking firm in my faith, and I'm still spreading the gospel, and kind of, I feel like by that time I will know exactly what the Lord is, like, destined for me to be, because I feel like everything's already written out, and I feel like He knows. I feel like I just need to keep growing in my faith, listening to what He's telling me, and just keep kind of pushing it. I hope that I'll be the next Taylor Rooks. I don't know if you know who Taylor Rooks is.
Sorry, producer Riley, can you get a picture of it? Who's it? Taylor. Have you got a photo there? I could have a look on my iPad, but it's not connected.
Basically, she's
producer Riley. We involve producer Riley in these things. You
producer
see,
Riley, come through.
Let's have a look. Who we got here? Okay, no, can't say I've ever seen. No, okay. Oh, she's an interviewer. Does she interview?
Yeah, she's an interviewer in, like, NBA, NFL. Like, she's huge in the States, and look up to her. So I hope I'm somewhere close to where she's at, but the Australian version.
Why not?
Yeah.
Have you tried reaching out to her?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
What's stopping you?
I don't know. It's kind of scary.
What's scary?
I don't know.
Wouldn't you love it if someone actually contacted you and said, "Hey, Ivy, like, I've been watching I've been following you. You really inspire me. I wish I could be like you one day."
Yeah.
How would it make you feel?
Yeah, that's true. I do have contacts that know of her, so I probably should make the most of that.
One of the things I really live by is your connection is your wealth.
Yeah, definitely.
The more people you know, the richer you'll be.
Yeah.
Whatever rich means to you. And that's one of the things I've learned, that, like, the more people I know, the wealthier I'll be, whether it's in knowledge, whether it's financially, whether it's in happiness or whatever that may be, right? So, I mean, I would just probably set you a challenge and say, slide into her DMs. I mean, everyone else does. Would you like to go into, like, Miss Australia or Miss Universe or whatever? You know, everyone else is doing it to you.
That's true.
I did. To come onto the podcast. Hey, do you fancy come and have a chat? Right?
Yeah, that's true.
it might never be seen, but
That's
at least
true.
that way you kind of say, well, I've tried it.
Yeah. What I mean, really,
What's the worst?
Yeah. What's the worst can happen? She doesn't see it, or she sees it and she doesn't answer. Cool.
I think in today's society and with the social media platforms that we have available to us, it gives us no excuse to be able to get to closer to people that we feel inspired by, and to try and build a genuine connection. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there that might just, I love your hat or I love your style or whatever. But I think that if you have a bit of an approach of, hey, I really enjoy what you're doing, and this is you're inspiring me, and you're not trying to get something out of it, but more acknowledging the fact that they are your inspiration. I think there's nothing wrong with that. You got the tools there. You can go into whatever platform you want and try and get through to them. So I've done that a few times. And it's work.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I've kind of got, oh my God, I just got to reply.
Yeah.
And I think you think, oh, sometimes it's the agent would reply or something like that. But I thought, no, they've actually replied. And I've kind of gone, okay, cool, this is great. So I don't know, just encouraging you maybe to do it. Maybe after this, who knows?
Yeah, at this point, I might.
You might.
Okay.
On that challenge, I've set you a challenge. I'm not sure if you've listened to, I mean, bit of a plug, but tomorrow we launch, or we drop our next episode.
Yep.
We're doing this every couple of weeks.
Yep.
But on our first episode and every episode that's going to be released from there, we have a challenge, or I want to call it a bit of a tradition on the Brain Breaks podcast, right? So this is something you might not be aware of because it's not in your questions.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy.
Okay.
No, don't worry.
I'm scared.
No, it's all good. So what we like to do, right, is we would like for you to set a challenge to anyone listening or viewing this, because it goes out on YouTube, a challenge that they can do that will help themselves start that business, get into modeling, pick up that first camera, right? Setting a challenge to them to do something from you. The idea being is that they can potentially reach out to you.
Yeah.
And kind of go, hey, Ivy, I listened to the podcast. You gave us this challenge. I did it. You might build a connection there with someone. Yeah. Right? It builds your audience. It builds a truer connection between you and potentially a fan. Right? Let me give you an example to give you a bit more of an idea where we're going with this. So just to give you an idea. So we'll go, what's one simple habit or practice you would challenge our listeners to try to help them protect their personal growth while still pushing towards their professional goals? That could be kind of like a question you pose pose the listeners. Do you have a challenge that you can set anyone listening or watching on what they can do to better themselves?
I would say, for me, I feel like things started to click when I really, truly started learning who I really was as a person. So I feel like my challenge would be, I would challenge you to really dig deep and find out who you really are and what you want to gain out of whatever you want to do. Why do you want to do it? And if you find your reason of why, I feel like that will help you make the first steps.
I want to ask you, how do you think the first steps could look like?
Can you rephrase that?
Yeah, absolutely. I can rephrase that, absolutely. What could those first steps look like for someone?
Right. So I feel like for me, I literally just sat there and was like, my first step, literally a journal, right? Get a journal, start writing in a journal. What do you want to accomplish, right? Start with that. What do you want to accomplish? And then how do you want to get there? How do you think you will get there? What are the best steps that you can take to actually get to where you want to be? Because a lot of the time people will be like, yep, I want to do this, but they have no idea how they're going to get there. And that's the first steps, I would say, is figuring out how you're actually going to get where you want to be. Whether that means consistency, whether that means studying something, whether that means actually, if you want to do photography, actually picking up a camera and starting to take photos. So I would say, yeah, definitely figure out how you're going to get to wherever you want to be.
Perfect. Ivy, thank you so much for coming on to the Brain Break, the podcast.
Right.
I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
It's so inspiring to hear your side of the story and to get to know you a little bit deeper. Like, everything we see on socials paints one picture.
Yeah.
And hopefully whoever's watching and listening may get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
And honestly, wish you all the best with the Miss Universe
Thank you.
journey.
Thank
I'm
you.
very naive when it comes. I'm like, okay, what's happening here? Like, what's going on? You know. But best of luck with that. Best of
Thank
luck
you
with your
so much.
basketball and your broadcasting journey.
Thank you.
Maybe NBA producer or something down
Hey,
there.
we'll see. That sounds great, doesn't it?
That sounds very good. Don't get me to come and take photos. Lloyd is not quick enough to like take it out of the SD and do it. But like, Ivy, how do we do this? Oh God, you know. But Ivy, on a serious note, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.